So today I just wanted to make a quick video going over Maxime Bernier's tweets that more or less got him to leave the Conservative Party. After making these tweets, which I think most Canadians agree with, basically no one in the Conservative Party defended him from the moral outcry of the left. It was a major catalyst for him leaving the party and just starting his own party. So I just want to go over those and, to point out how really non-radical and non-controversial these tweets should be. So let's go ahead. Trudeau keeps pushing his "diversity is our strength" slogan. Yes, Canada is a huge and diverse country. This diversity is part of us and should be celebrated. But where do we draw the line? So you see, he's not saying anything about we can't have other cultures. He's saying, well, there's a limit. There's a point where there's too much. Ethnic, religious, linguistic, sexual, and other minorities were unjustly repressed in the past. We've done a lot to redress those injustices and give everyone equal rights. Canada is today one of the countries where people have the most freedom to express their identity. That is clearly true. But why should we promote ever more diversity? If anything and everything is Canadian, does being Canadian mean something? Shouldn't we emphasize our cultural traditions, what we have built and have in common, what makes us different from other cultures and societies? What a racist, talking about how Canada can be an actual country. Oh man, horrible racism here, dripping with sarcasm. Having people live among us who reject basic Western values such as freedom, equality, tolerance, and openness doesn't make us strong. People who refuse to integrate into our society and want to live apart in their ghetto don't make our society strong. Clearly, people who aren't part of the society clearly cannot make it stronger. If someone wants to be in Canada but not really live as a Canadian, then why are they here? What is their incentive to be here? Because they could be somewhere else where their values are lived by the common people. Someone from even Syria would probably have more in common and more culturally resemble more. That's a terrible way of saying that. But they'd probably be more at home in somewhere like Turkey or Jordan or whatever. But no, that's not where they go. They don't go to an area where they speak the language and have the same values. They come to Canada, where we have money. Kind of tells you what they really want. If you're coming to Canada to not live as a Canadian and just collect the welfare check, then as far as I'm concerned, you probably don't belong here. It's probably not going to make our country stronger by having you here. Now, I do think that Canada can help these people and that we should, but the way we need to help these people is not bringing them here and giving them welfare. That's not going to work, ever. Trudeau's extreme multiculturalism and cult of diversity will divide us into little tribes that have less and less in common, apart from their dependence on the government in Ottawa. Basically what I was saying. These tribes become political clienteles to be bought with taxpayer dollars and special privileges. Yeah, they become votes, right? Why would the government want them here? Specifically Trudeau's government. He wants them here because if and when they become citizens, they will vote left. It's pretty well established that third world countries are more left than first world countries. We'll say it that way. The richest countries are generally those that are the most, I don't want to say right wing, but the most economically free. Mexico is pretty socialist when you compare it to Canada and the US, and it's also incredibly poor and corrupt. When you have a big central government, which is a necessity for a socialist or semi-socialist state, it becomes corrupt and it weighs down everyone. So the most successful states tend to be those with the smallest governments, and well, if you're the government and you want to do lots of stuff like Trudeau's government does, that's not good for you. You don't want a small government. If you're Trudeau, you want a big government. How are you supposed to change the way people live if you don't have a big government? These are basically votes that are being bought with taxpayer dollars. Cultural balkanization brings distrust, social conflict, and potentially violence, as we are seeing everywhere. It is time we reverse this trend before the situation gets worse. More diversity will not be our strength. It will destroy what has made us such a great country. The truth is just right there. It's, we can look at Europe as a model for multiculturalism and understand that it's been a complete failure. Crime rates in Europe are soaring. London now has more the higher murder rate than New York City, and I believe Toronto does as well. Don't quote me on that one. Look that up for yourself. I need to do some more research here as well, but it is getting quite bad in Toronto even, and I don't know. I mean, it's been such a short amount of time that it's been changed. London was, I mean, it wasn't like the safest city, but it was not that dangerous 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Let's go with that. London's actually had this problem for a lot longer than Canadian cities, but now, I mean, it's somewhat likely that you'll have acid thrown on your face if you walk around London too much. That's a scary thing, and yeah, I mean the numbers are low. Don't get me wrong, but when it's still the highest per capita acid attack city in the world, that is a huge problem coming from a relatively safe city not that long ago. The main thing that's changed is really just the ever-increasing amount of migrants there. Not to say that every migrant is violent, of course. Most are not. But in with the good comes the bad. And when you simply bring in as many people as you can't really sort through them. We looked at Bernier's party in the last video, and he did not say we don't want migration anymore. He didn't say let's get rid of it. He said let's cut it back, and let's put more effort into selecting who will come here. Let's put more effort into making sure that we don't get the violent few who taint the rest, basically. Most of the migrants want to live peacefully. I think that most people, if they came to Canada and did their best to live like Canadians, would be very happy, and we'd be very happy to have them here. But you will always get those who are not here with that in mind. Of course, there's political Islam, which is just spreading itself everywhere, and there's also just the true fact that migrants tend to commit more crimes. So, as I say, we're not supposed to get rid of immigration. We just need to pick the best people to come here. Alright, well, basically all I wanted to do is show these tweets and, basically prove that these are not the tweets of some alt-right extremists. This is someone who's concerned about what's happening in Canada, as many people are, and is voicing his concerns. And for him to be lambasted and attacked in the media like he was for these tweets, it's pretty sad when you think about it. Alright, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed or learned something, and yeah, have a good day.